Dilutions Worksheet. When we talk about a dilution, we're talking about taking some concentration of a solution and diluting it. To dilute something means to make it weaker, to add more solvent to it so that it's less concentrated. For example, let's say you have some Kool-Aid. All right, you have a certain concentration of sugar and flavoring that you've put into a certain volume of water to make your Kool-Aid taste good. If I add water to it and make a new volume of water, then my concentration of my Kool-Aid is going to change. It's going to become weaker and it'll taste weaker. But what happens here is that because we're not changing how much of the solute, how much of the Kool-Aid powder and sugar are in there, then what's going to happen is that your molarity, your original concentration times your original volume, which is what this is, original molarity times original volume, is going to be equal to your diluted molarity, your new molarity, times the new volume. Because what happens is that as you add more water to your Kool-Aid, the volume goes up, which makes your concentration go down. And this happens relative to one another, so that these two multiplied together will be equal to these two multiplied together, no matter how much water you add. So all you're going to have to do on this worksheet, though, is to plug in the things that you know to solve for the one that you don't. So if I look at this first one, it says if I add 25 milliliters of water to 125 milliliters of a 0.15 molar NaOH solution, what will the molarity of the diluted solution be? So first of all, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the molarity of the diluted solution. It means the molarity of the new solution, so that's my molarity 2, my M2. So I'll be solving for M2. So that means I should find my M1, my V1, and my V2 and plug them in here. So my M1 is my original molarity, and that's right here, my 0.15 molar NaOH solution. Then I'm going to multiply that by my original volume, which is 125 milliliters. Now, if you're not sure what volume and molarity go together, see if you can find the word of, because if you see the word of, it says 125 milliliters of this molarity solution, that means these two go together on the same side of my equal sign. All right, so I have 0.15 times 125 milliliters. You do not have to change from milliliters to liters as long as your two volumes are the same unit. So if I have milliliters here and milliliters here, that's fine. I don't have to change that to liters. It's only if I have milliliters on one side and liters on the other that I would need to change them to match up with each other. All right, so I'm going to leave it as milliliters. This is going to equal my new molarity, which I don't know, so I'm going to leave that as M2, times my new volume. It says I had 125 milliliters and now I've added 25 to that. If I add 25 to 125, that means I've literally added 25 and 125 together. That makes 150. Now, what I'm trying to do is solve for M2. I know that these two are going to multiply together. And here's my calculator. When I do that, 0.15 times 125 gives me 18.75. So I'm going to have 18.75 equals M2 times 150. To solve for this M2, I want to keep it all by itself on one side of the equal sign and get everything else to the other side. So I'm going to keep this here. I'm going to bring this to the other side. Since right now they're multiplied, I'm going to bring this to the other side and divide. So I'll divide by 150 by bringing that over there. Okay, what I've basically done is just divided both sides by 150. 150 divided by 150 is 1, so it cancels out. And 18.75 divided by 150 will give me my M2. And so my answer is 18.75 divided by 150 milliliters, which is 0.125 molar. So you're going to do the same thing to the rest of these. So you're going to plug in the numbers that you know into this formula and solve for the one that you don't. Make sure that you pay attention. See this of here, that means these two need to go together on the same side of the equal sign. Pay attention to make sure that you have the correct units on both sides. All right, so I have milliliters here and milliliters here, which means I do not need to change anything. And then on number 5, be very careful here because it asks how much water would I need to add. So once you find your new volume, you're going to figure out how much would be added to that 500 milliliters to get that new volume that you did. Just like up here in number 1, it said I added 25 milliliters rather than saying I have 150 milliliters of the new solution. So you're figuring out, hey, I had 150 milliliters, that meant that I had to add 25 milliliters. So you'll figure out how much you needed to add to 500 to get the new volume that you solved for here. So go ahead, solve for the rest of these. Plug them in just like we did here into this formula, and if you do get stuck on them or have any questions, please come ask.